Yo guys, what's going on? LuckyRave is back again to give you guys a discussion video on Eden Zero. That is an interview from Hiro's editor when it came to Eden Zero. And I think it says so much about the quality of the series, but also just Hiro in general. And we don't necessarily have a name on who this editor is, but because I just refer to him as the editor.
Get on with it, you moron! What?
Your blood pressure, Mr. Jameson. Your wife told me to tell you to watch the anger.
I think it's really cool to just hearing his take and whatnot on what was said. So let's go ahead and dive right in. He talks about the end of Eden Zero, and he says that it's the end of a long run, 5 to 6 years since I started, which again is still crazy to think that we started this journey and now like the story that we're still thinking about it to this day. Like, not only just that, he says this: I am proud of our work. Sci-fi shonen manga is a really difficult area. And I mean, I guess that kind of shows too. I mean, like Samurai 8, prime example, right? The man who did, Naruto, yeah, Samurai 8. And I mean, sci-fi in general, I mean, the fact that he even says that, I think sci-fi shonen manga is a really difficult area. It just goes to show you how Hiro was able to approach it and like direct it. And the editor even says that too, that he was able to pull it off like really, really well. But here's the other big key tidbit that I think we should keep in mind. He says this: Mr. Mashima was like, what shall we do next? And this is like immediately after Eden Zero finished. That just goes to show you the dedication, the passion, the drive that Hiro has. You gotta look on ahead. Don't look back on things. And that's still the approach Hiro was taking here. And I think that's a really great approach to take it. And I guess this goes to show you of what kind of, like, writer you want to be. Look at Yoshihiro Togashi. Everyone primarily knows him for Hunter x Hunter. He also made probably one of the most legendary series in shonen history, which is Yu Yu Hakusho. It's probably more underrated compared to Hunter x Hunter. But the fact is, people know about Togashi through Hunter x Hunter, through Yu Yu Hakusho. Hiro was kind of a similar case, where primarily, yeah, there is Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail's kind of what blew up his name, popularity. If you look at his success rate, and I've mentioned this time and time again, and I know for a lot of people, Rave Master, Fairy Tail, Eden Zero, says a lot.
I mean, fire! No, that's what he's saying, bro. Like, this is peak. This is peak. There's nothing that can be done here that can be improved on. This is peak!
The editor even goes on to say he's really passionate about his next series, which, based on the space he had, he wants to approach it very differently, in the sense of, treating it like a one-shot, and then based on how the reception's going to go, let's move forward with that. Each approach Hiro has taken thus far has been very, very different, and this one's no different. Going on even further, he then talks about, his own personal experience, as an editor. His editor for Eden Zero was actually very green, not one with much experience. And that just goes to show you, the dynamic he was able to have with Hiro when it came to the whole process of Eden Zero. Hiro was just very humble about it. He didn't just treat him as, I have all this experience, I'm going to treat you like an underling. No, you're here, I'm here too, let's work to create something beautiful. That's essentially was what happened. And he even says it too, I think that's really great. Then he goes on to talk about, what makes Hiro so amazing. And he talks about, his interests and how, that's amazing. He reads a lot of mysteries, which kind of goes to show you of where, a lot of the mystery elements of his stories, occur. Ellie's, forgotten memories in Rave Master. Same thing with, Shiki's, upbringings, the whole revelation with Ziggy, the chronophage. All of that comes from Hiro and, him delving into, mystery stories.
That's it. That explains everything.
And then the final bit here is talking about, what stands out about Eden Zero to him. And this one, I just says so much, because it perfectly encapsulates what the series is about. And he pretty much goes on to say, and it's basically the panel of Rebecca when she's talking to Herman, which is simply, the hell doesn't matter if someone's a machine or human. This line was full of that. And it pretty much, encapsulates what the series is about. It doesn't matter if you're a machine or human. As long as you have a heart, that's all that matters. I have to mention, there's this quick, funny jab at Hiro when it comes to, his work ethic, and that was, briefly mentioned too. How, other authors, notice that, and they're just man, the amount of work and dedication Hiro's putting in, not just to manga, but to, other projects too, for Magia, And then, like, now he's working on, like, speaking of which, this man's working on, like, 4 different anime projects. I'm like,
Wait a minute.
look, he's working on Dead Rock, which is a monthly series. He's working on 100 Years Quest, and granted that's just as a writer, but still, that's bi-weekly. For Manga, which again is just a game, and he's only a character designer on that. But, bro, the amount of dedication and passion Hiro has, like, that's the kind of passion I have, okay? Like, when it comes to, like, my channel, my content, like, even outside of that, like, I'm working on a book, which, it's no easy task, but the thing that's funny about this quote is that they're like, they want him to stop because they feel like the amount of work they're putting into their own series versus Hiro, it's like, man, it just kind of feels like we're being lazy, like we're just slacking off. That's kind of funny, like when I really think about it. And ultimately, going back to the whole quote with Rebecca, and that being his favorite quote, he also mentions how, like, it's something that we could see very well in the future with themselves. Like, with, you know, say you have, like, machines, and then you have, like, humans. Eventually, I do feel like, as time goes on, there will be points where you do have, like, robots. It does kind of go to show you that, like, yeah, I mean, think about it. Think about it like this. We're already at a point in life where we do have artificial intelligence, you know, through Siri, through Alexa, like, we have a lot of stuff like that. It's not too much of a stretch to think that eventually in the future we will get, like, you know, like, actual robots. But that's pretty much all that was mentioned here when it comes to this interview from Hiro's editor, what he has to say about him, what he has to say about the series of Eden Zero. And again, like, it's really great just hearing stuff like this. Not just because, like, it's based on just Hero, but just because it's on Eden Zero, okay? The series may be done, but, like, as the weeks pass by, we're learning more and more stuff about what's happening, okay? Like, what happened behind the scenes, like, how things were between him and his editor, inner workings, the behind the scenes, I think is always a really fascinating approach to storytelling, and it just goes to show you, like, how things were, like, you know, between how Hiro himself was as the writer and how the dynamic was with him and his editor. Amazing. And it goes to show you the love and respect the editor has for Hiro in general too. That's pretty much all I have to say when it comes to this, you know, discussion video on Eden Zero. How do you guys feel about the interview that his editor had with him regarding Eden Zero, the series, and of course, when it pertains to just, you know, how he felt about Hiro just as a person, as a writer, as, you know, just someone he just worked with as a colleague. And aside from that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm LuckyRave. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more Eden Zero content, Hiro Mashima content, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Later.